Test 1, 2. Wait, are we live? How does this even happen? Oh my goodness, this is ridiculous. I have no idea how this is happening. Save. Can you hear me? What? What? I literally haven't even hit go live yet. Oh my gosh, I've been struggling so hard to get this darn live stream open. But I guess this failure is very good. But welcome. So, gamer, welcome. Tyson, welcome. I got it right. I know. Yeah, okay. I'm like trying here, and it's not working, which is just driving me nuts. But that's okay. Let's see. Basically, as you can see in the title of the video, live streams are moving. So we're going to take Laex's live streams and move them to a new channel, which I had it all set up before going live the first time, but then the audio didn't come through. Who knows why? And so let me go get the link again and get this actually set up correctly. But we're going to have a separate channel for this called Laex is Live. Let's see. That doesn't work whatsoever. Do I have to like switch account and then switch back and then hopefully not lose access to the live stream? Your channel, copy link address, switch account, back to this one. See, did that work? Command V, there we go. Look at that, a brand new channel. Very cool. It's even got my face on it. Ah, so nice. Oh, I forgot to check my sharpness. This is all very what you would expect for what's going on today. So welcome. I got it right. I did for the first time ever, Tyson. I can't believe it. So there you go. You got the link to the new channel. Feel free to go subscribe. And the big thing I wanted to just announce was that's where our live streams are going to be going. Control V and save. Okay, it's in the description as well, so you can see that down in the comments if you're watching this in the future. So when you don't see a live stream on Vidyuu tutorials next week on 4 p.m., you'll know that it is because it's on Laex Live. So for now, I'm going to plan on continuing the 4 p.m. time frame. I might change it to do something like a morning time frame. Also just super out of it. I've been scripting in Horizon for like the last, 14 days straight, but like I did a 14.5-hour day the other day, and a good 7 hours of it is literally live. So if you saw that on Friday, I know a couple of you guys were there. And so that live stream was a lot of fun, but it was also very, very painful dealing with some of the bugs. And in there, I mentioned how I was going to be testing one of my worlds over the weekend to see how it was progressing, and I'm just like, I don't want to touch anything in Horizon for a while because of the bugs I've been dealing with today. And they're not that bad, it's just I need some time out of Horizon to rest my brain. But basically, Visit 2.0, y'all are familiar with, versus what you're working with in published. And so at first I wasn't worried about it. Everything was working great. In fact, it was working beyond great. I was blown away. I had published the world unlisted, and everything worked as intended. Except for one thing. There was one thing that was weird, and basically it was that there was an object that was entering a trigger, and it was actually working, which it shouldn't have been working because the object was non-collidable, and non-collidable objects can't be detected by triggers. At least that's how it was in Visit 1.0. Well, it seems in Visit 2.0 that is a case, and I don't know if that's intended or not. And so I'm not sure if I need to, and that was actually a good thing. It was working to my benefit at first, and then it went really downhill from there. When I came back later, once I had updated the scripts and done some other stuff and tried publishing it again, I started seeing all sorts of wonky bugs popping up, and I don't know how to fix them, which if I can't fix a bug, I'm like up against a brick wall. My brain just can't move past it. So that's been pretty rough. But they're not that bad. I believe I've already found the solution, which is basically to break the scripts into multiple pieces, which is something we've been talking about a lot recently on the live streams. And so by separating things into smaller pieces, it's a little bit easier to work with. And so my problem was I had this one thing that was doing like a ton of things already, and then I wanted it to do a whole another thing. And because I'm under NDA, I really can't talk about it too much, but basically the object added this extra functionality, which then wasn't behaving correctly because of the trigger detection and everything else. And so then basically what I decided to do was go create another object, which then threw me above world capacity. So I'm like, oh, like the way I had it functioning was great, but then anyways, it went above world capacity, but now it's on a separate object. And then the player was getting thrown around because now that it's collidable, because I want it to work in build mode, not just in play mode, because I don't trust that it's going to work. So now that it's collidable, it's also having issues. And so I think the plan is to build an invisible collidable cube that's like below the player. So it's an attachable object, I guess I'll tell you that much. And so the attachable object is causing the player to get thrown around because part of it's collidable. And that drives me nuts because I could swear that was not a thing. So I'm not sure what's causing that to happen. I haven't had that happen in a while. I think normally I duplicate the object and that solves it. So it might have just been this one object. I really don't even know what was causing it because I did duplicate the object, so I don't know why that was happening. And otherwise, you can see that it's like a frustrating process dealing with Horizon bugs, although it's just a general bug. That one's been around for a long time. That's like literally been here for over a year. So I need to go figure out what to do about that. Although I think my plan to put the collidable element below the player should make it so it can't collide with the player. At least that's the idea. But anyway, so can't really think too much. But oh, thanks, Tyson. Appreciate that. But yeah, so feel free to subscribe to the new channel and follow along there for more. I'm not going to do a live stream today because my brain just needs the rest. If you want to watch Laex live, there is 9 hours of content that's been posted over the last couple days. So the 7-hour stream, the 2-hour stream, and we built a really cool algorithm that allows for map generation, and in the last 2 hours that's the most interesting part of it, so definitely encourage you to check that one out. That's the most recent video on the channel where we actually get it working. And trying to think what else. Trying to think if there's any like other major bugs that were just kind of driving me nuts that might be worth sharing. I guess the big one was that there was a it's not a big one, it's kind of a small one. I wasn't even really that worried about it, but it's like leaderboards, or excuse me, not leaderboards, achievement boards weren't displaying the progress people were making with their persistent variables. So if you had like a persistent variable at 50 out of 100, it didn't show up, it still showed 0 until you actually achieved it, I assume. I haven't tried achieving it in the published world, but I should try that. So I'm gonna go rest my brain for a couple hours, then probably dive back in and see if I can't solve a couple of those bugs I was talking about. Ami says, did they recently drop the amount of actions that a script can do? I remember it was like 2050 per frame, but now I have scripts that will break with over 20. I have no idea. I don't have a thing to test that. It would be cool to build a script that literally just tests how many you can get to have happen. Yeah, no, I'm not sure what could be causing that there, Omni. Like my instant reaction is perhaps you can get that many per frame if you do it a certain way, and then again I'm like, you know, part of my frustration is like you're looking at this edit world and you're thinking, look, everything's working great, and then you publish the world and you're like scratching your head trying to figure out why it's not working the same. Fortunately, I've found pretty much everything that's not working the same. And there's just a few bugs on some of these really complex scripts, and I'm like, I'm so done with debugging right now. So that's where I'm at. And so I basically want to scrap the entire mechanic that I've been building, because I'm just like, oh, I'm so tired of this. I don't want to deal with bugs, and I got a deadline of tomorrow night to get this ready for a presentation. So, you know, it's like that. But yeah, so if you've just joined us, I see a couple people have just joined. We're going to be moving the live streams to a new channel, link in description as well as in the chat. And feel free to subscribe there so you can see the live streams. The plan is that we'll have, oh, 2 of you have subscribed. Thank you guys. The The plan is that we'll be able to go live whenever, and it won't really obstruct the Vidyuu tutorials channel. More or less, every time I go live, that day we get no new subscribers, but any day I don't go live, we get like 10 new subscribers. And I understand Horizon is frustrating, so like I don't blame anybody for unsubscribing, but I also think that it just is like, oh, this isn't the content that I'm interested in, and so they don't get to see what we're really working on, and we got some really cool stuff we're working on in the background, and so I just want people to be able to see the interesting content separate from the tutorial content, or the live tutorial content, because I know that's a lot harder to watch. So that's why we're moving it to another channel. I guess I'll take some questions while we're here. If you have any other ones on me, I don't know how to answer your question because I've never tested it, and I feel like you know more about that than I do. So there's that. I'm trying to think the amount of script actions that you can do in a frame. I don't know, 2,050 per frame would be kind of insane. I can't even imagine doing that many in a frame. I mean, you'd have to have a lot of things running on update or locally scripted, sort of, but even locally scripted, it's fine because they're running locally, so that shouldn't be affecting it. I'd be curious what that limit is. But yeah, that's more or less the end of this conversation, you guys. So feel free to leave comments. Let me know if you've seen that video. I know everybody who's commented in this chat has been a part of that most recent live stream, so apologies to you guys. There isn't another live stream today other than me just chatting here for a moment. But yeah, it is very, very important that you take time for your brain to recover when you're facing bugs and stuff. I literally will be screaming later, or was screaming in my head. One or the other. We're not going to talk about it because I'm going to go rest my brain and hopefully feel better when I go solve these bugs. But yeah, I just encourage you to take the time that you need. And look forward to seeing you guys on the new channel with the next live stream, which we will have next week at 4 p.m. as per usual schedule. So we'll be back on a regular schedule, we'll see. But I also just like going live randomly, and now that we have a whole channel for it, I kind of feel okay just going live whenever I have something I'd like to show. Like there was a new thing we recently developed that's just groundbreaking. In fact, I think I can show you real quick. Because I have access to the Horizon Hub. Let's see if I can get this working right. So I go Chrome Capture Close Up. There we go, so you can see my screen. And then we come over here, jump over to the Horizon Hub. And you're like, what the heck is this? This is that tool that Waffle's working on. And I don't know how to click the right button, but I did it anyway. And so what we're going to do here is build a quick script. I don't even remember what the script is, but I do know it's really important that I show you. So I'm going to figure out what it is at the same time as we're working on it. And I would like to see chat, so I think I'm going to select this and pop it out, put this over here so I can see you guys' chat messages. Nice. So the thing we're going to look at is... Oh, Hunter and Mommy Vlogs. Hey, my Horizon World won't let me enter the world. I just got on. That's really strange. I will think about that for a second while I work on this script. I'm very curious what could be causing that. And let's see, I need to slide this over. So if you're wondering what you're looking at here, this is a beta application by Wafflecopters that allows you to write scripts and just kind of like think about what they might look like in the future. So I just remembered what it was. So the way this works is you need a control object. And so for those of us like Omni, I think this is going to hit real fast. And for anybody else, I apologize that this might not be the most obvious thing, but I'll explain why this is so important as we go. So what we're going to do first is create a new object list variable. And this object list is going to be called positions. It's like it represents the position for player IDs. So it's like my position, so object positions, and they're not positions. What I'm looking for is the word that represents where a player is in a list or when they're entering the world. It's their get player index. So it's object index list. Okay. So this isn't the best name, but it does kind of help. And so what we're looking for is an event that's being received on this control object, And we'll create a new event name, which we're going to call register. Or actually, I think it would be even better to call this get my index. And then click create. And this is going to be received with the object parameter. And this is the new object. And then click create. And then what we want to check is if that object is already in the list. So we go to the operators tab, and at the bottom, we're checking to see if they are not in the list. So we'll grab the not operator from the top, and then at the bottom we can get if the list contains the item. So we'll drop that in there, and seeing if the list, oops, is there a control Z? Ah, there is, nice. So we're gonna see if this list contains, it's funny, I do that in Horizon and in this version of Horizon, that's hysterical. So if not containing the object in that list, what we can then do is add it to the list, which is also at the bottom of our operators tab. So we'll go ahead and grab the add to list. And so we add this new object to the object index list. And now that we've added it to the list, we can send an event back. So we're gonna go ahead and send event to the object. And this event is going to be called a new event, your index is, and we can actually send this outside of the if statement. Oh, control Z, outside of the if. And so we send the index back to the new object that's come in with the parameter that from the operators tab is the index of the item in the list. So we get the index of that item that's come in the list, and so even if they're already in the list, they can re-grab this value. And then we have now said add this player or add this object to the list, send it its current index, and then when another object comes in, we give it a new index. So it starts at 0, then it gets 1, and then 2, and then 3. And so this is super cool. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else we need to do, but I think that's it. So if you're not following along with what we've just created here, also, welcome. I'll tell you a little bit more about everything that's going on here in just a sec, but the thing that we've just created is a control object that allows sub-objects that are per player to get an ID value. So normally, say you were making like a bunch of vests for people to wear in a laser tag game, and you'll see this in the video. I literally go in manually and I type in 0, then I type in 1, and all the way through to like 14 or 15 or however many it was. You no longer have to manually type these numbers in because you can use this control object, and you just simply send get my index from the control object, and then it responds with your index, and then you've got the value. So that's how it works. So pretty cool. Let me know if you have any questions about that. I'll leave that open in the background as we come on back to OBS and switch over to our wide camera. There we are. So Hunter and Mommy Vlogs, let's see. The answer to your question is I have no idea why it's not letting you get in, but I have a couple ideas of things you should try. Sometimes when I go into Horizon, it doesn't tell me I need to update, and it won't let me do anything that I would expect it to do because I'm in an outdated version, and for some reason it doesn't even tell me I'm in an outdated version. So try closing the app and see if it says there's an update available, and then just update the app. The other thing you might try doing is just powering off your headset, wait 30 seconds at least, and then power it back on. This is important as there's a cache in the RAM, and sometimes if you just hit the restart button or you power it off and power it right back on, it won't cause it to reset. Sometimes I'll even wait 60 seconds or even a couple minutes before turning it back on. This is just a really good habit to be in, is because there is some data stored in your random access memory, your RAM, and unbelievably, RAM doesn't actually power off when you power off your headset. It actually stays powered on for about 20 seconds, and it's got like some, I don't know how to describe it, but basically it just stays in a state, and then when you power back on, it's still in that state, so it hasn't actually cleared, which is why with your internet router and all these other things, you have to wait this period of time. It's so that the RAM actually does clear. So anyway, you'll want to wait that 60 seconds at least, and then power it back on, and I know I sound crazy. I mean, I literally thought people were crazy, like waiting so long on their internet stuff. I always did it, just out of good habit. But it actually really affected me last year specifically is when I first found this to be a real problem. Is I kept being told, just reset your headset, just restart your headset. That's all that did, and that's fixed. That's the fix. and I kept doing it over and over and over again. I kid you not, I restarted my headset like 5+ times, and I still had the same bug. And then I finally did it where I like just took it off, walked away for 5 minutes, and I came back and I was like, oh, it worked. And then other people were having that problem later on. I was like, just turn it off for like 60 seconds and try turning it back on, and it worked for them too. So hopefully that helps. The other thing is, if you're still just having bugs, definitely want to submit that on the bug reporter. That's uservoice.com. I can get you the link for that if you need it. But that's definitely a good spot to submit bugs and proactively get that into the list beforehand. So there we go. Let's see. I factory reset it. The whole Oculus and Read on the Horizon still don't work. I have not been on in a while. Oh, interesting. I don't know. The factory reset could be the problem because of the new Oculus accounts that recently, or excuse me, the new Meta accounts that came out. So yeah, I'm not sure. Or are the Oculus accounts? Yeah, the Omni's already on it. Yeah, I don't know what the answer is there. I would definitely encourage you to try using the horizonworlds.uservoice link that I just submit to submit your bug and see if they can't help you get that sorted. Well, I'm going to run, you guys, but thank you so much for joining. If you've just joined and wondered what in the world just happened, the live stream doesn't start till 4 usually. We are moving live streams over to the Laex's live channel. That's a link I sent above, and it's also in the description. And we are going to be having live streams over there from now on. So feel free to check that out, and we will see you next week, Sunday at 4 p.m. And I'm not really doing a live stream, kind of doing a live stream, but kind of not doing a live stream, just because I've just been in Horizon too much, and I really need a break because my brain is just fried. So just also preaching at the same time, make sure to take some healthy time for yourself, because I definitely need it. So I encourage you, when you get to this point, make sure to do that as well. So thank you guys all so much for joining us, and we will catch you in the next one. Bye!